in this lesson, I want to take a quick break from our project to show you the official React documentation, more specifically the synthetic event page. Now, I will provide the URL to this page as a resource, but for right now, I just want us to scroll down this page to show you some of the available events in React. And for each one of these events, React will, of course, generate and pass in that specified event object to our handler function or method. We can see that logic right here. If I scroll down in the overview, it says your event handlers, which simply mean the functions or methods that we provide, will be passed instances of synthetic event, which is just a cross-browser wrapper around the browser's native event. So what it means to be cross-browser is it means this will work regardless of the web browser that your app is running in, whether it be Chrome or Firefox or Safari or Opera. And what it means to be a wrapper is that the browser is going to generate its own event object, that is the native event because it belongs to the browser. And then React's synthetic event object is kind of like a wrapper or a layer around that default event that has some additional metadata that is set up by React so that there is a consistent interface or a consistent object regardless of the browser that the user is using your app on. Because maybe, for example, in Chrome or in Firefox, the browser may have a property that is differently named compared to in another browser. So the goal of synthetic event is to normalize all of that, to make it all the same so that your app runs without any kind of issues, regardless of the browser that the user is running in. But with that said, I just want to scroll down and show you some examples of events so you can start thinking about how it can react to different things happening as the user navigates and uses our application. So for example, right here, we see whole categories of events right here. There are quite a few of them, starting with things like clipboard events. So when the user, for example, copies something or cuts or pastes, those are all actions that the user can undertake, and we can run some bit of JavaScript logic in our component whenever those events occur. All right, moving on down, we have things like keyboard events, when the user presses a key down, when the user lets go of a key, things like that we can react to. Focus events, which means when the user clicks into something like an input or clicks out of it. We can also react to each character that the user types into an input as well. We're going to learn more about that in upcoming lessons within the course. When the user submits a form, we can react to that. Simple events like the page loading or running into an error. Various mouse events, not just obviously clicking, which is the most common one, but things like drag and dropping. You can see there's a whole combination of various events that can be used in combination with one another to run logic whenever the user, for example, begins dragging something and then lets go of their mouse button to stop the drag. All of those different moments constitute different events, different occurrences that we can react to in our React application. Pointer events right here, selection events, touch events. If the user, for example, is interacting with a touch screen and clicking on some part of our website but not with a traditional mouse. A user scrolling, we can react to on scroll right here. A user using their mouse wheel, if they have a mouse with a wheel and are using that to navigate. Various media events, which means the user interacting with something like a video player or an audio player. When the user, for example, changes the speed of the video or duration change. To be quite honest with you, even I don't know all of these events because there's dozens of them, but it just goes to show there's a lot of things that happen in our application after its initial load. And with the power of React, we can react to any of those events. And of course, each time that happens, React will generate this synthetic event object, this JavaScript object with information about the event that just transpired. And we are welcome to use that in our app if we need that data for some reason. And this is just, again, to get us thinking about all of the possibilities in the world of web development and how React can help us handle all of that. All right, so with that, we are good to transition back to our project, and I will see you in our next lesson.